Alright, everything looks good. Alright, so I'm going to finish up a couple little things over here that I was doing with the Garrison. I finally got around to adding some of these little support, I guess I'll call them columns. I don't know what the exact term would be for them. But, oops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. That was. But, like I said, kind of worked on these just to kind of break up the walls, because the walls, especially the lower part of the wall, is pretty flat, so it just gives a little bit more visual interest. And then eventually they'll have little kind of like beams that are kind of sticking out up here to kind of break that up. Do I have a... I do have a rotation number, which is great. Because then I can just match. Or not. Hey, Ishratari. How's it going? Thank you for 6 months. Appreciate the support, man. Hold on. What am I doing? I want it to rotate this way. So yeah, that would be 180 minus 104 would be 79.6. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. How are you doing tonight, Ishratari? Yes. Then this one will be -90. And then we've got a couple extra ones in here that we need to just delete. See. If these will work. I have a feeling, yeah, these aren't going to work just how I have them. So I'll have to kind of play with the spacing. One, two. 1, 2. Let's make this centered. Doing great. Killing a few mobs in P99. Nice. Maybe the first 2 are 2, and then I start spacing them by like larger. One, 2. No, they're not perfectly even. Oh well. Where are you hunting in P99? One, two, three. 3. 1, 2, 3 would be right there. Yeah. Selection from a distance drives me crazy. Clicks right through. Hey, Durgoth, how's it going? Want them. I don't want them all the way up like I had. Put them just below that. It doesn't look too bad. Doing pretty good. What's on the menu for tonight? Well, I wanted to finish up this stuff I'm doing right here with the walls. So I finally got around to adding some, and I just made these, you know, real simple shapes. But just to break up the break it up, the wall sections, so some just vertical lines going through it, as opposed to like this one's still currently pretty much a flat wall. Just gives it a little bit more visual interest. And then the wall up here will eventually get a little bit more stuff, but more horizontally aligned. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm up to right now. And then after I finish this, I think I'm gonna hop over to Sagesyde and start cleaning up the disaster that is going on over there. I guess disaster is not is a strong word, but it's the district is not very finished or navigatable right now, so it needs some TLC. You know, this might not even need it, because it has all those buildings. But maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. I'll keep it for now, and then I'll talk with Simon, and we'll come to a decision whether we think this one really needs it or not. Because what I can do is just make cuts, so it won't be like interfering down here. But it is interfering a little bit with some of the geo in places. Like this doorway is definitely affected. But I'll leave it for now, and then we can have a discussion about that. All right, so is there any other spots that needed this? I'm attempting, I might do it on the inner portions of the walls. Right now I'm trying to keep it to the outside. But I guess right here could use it. And out here. And then along here. and then try to get it along there as well. I think this one has a... It does. Alright, I'm not doing this one by okay, so 180 minus 74.39. Oh, helps if I hit the correct button. Just divided. I'm like, how is that equal to? Oh, I hit the wrong damn button. Alright. 105.61. There we go. And I'll duplicate this one and move it down here, because these show that they're the same. So let's clean these up now. Height-wise are good already, which is nice. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, wow, this one's like almost spot on where I want it. That's crazy. Cool. I think that was a lot easier than it could have been. Alright, so oops, helps if I delete. More hidden in here. Nope, those are good. I do have one hidden here. Or hold on, do I have one? Oh, that's from the other side. That's the one right there. Alright, so let's clean up this side now. Which is this group. Yeah, so I think that is just not touching the wall. Nice, I think that's good. Okay, sounds good. That one needs to go away, as do these two. And the ones that are inside this tower. Alright. Now, because I'm over here and I know there's spawns over here, I will be moving a mob or mobs spawn around real quick. Hey, Chess Solo. How's it going? Hey, Zukin. Ooh, that... I may have to run around and see if this is going to work here. I may have to adjust where these are, because that's really tight. Let's open up the zone panel real quick and check on the spawns. Just want to make sure that the ruffians that are spawning here aren't spawning inside Geo now. Excellent. Got some tea kicking back. Nice. I almost made some tea before the stream because my energy levels are like, woo, since dinner. So, but then I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. And then I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. And I have to get up early tomorrow. And I'm like, I'll suffer through. No, I'm in halfling only area. Oh, excuse me. This could be a yawning stream, apparently. Oh, no, we're good. They're just cozier than they were before. Actually haven't looked at all of the go-to commands and stuff since I started playing with some of the new Geo. Although I think this is an old patrol. Okay. Alright, let's save. And let's close the zone panel. Zukin comes in hot and fast with his segregationist police in 2020, really. Alright, guys, so prepare yourselves for the mess that is Sagesyde. So the reason this is a mess is because when I was doing our whatchamacallits over here, our hanging gardens, I decided I wanted to mirror the ziggurat. Wow, words are not coming to my brain today. But I wanted to mirror those, and then because of that I get the second tier thing here. I tried doing like a kind of canyon-y feel thing and I don't like it. I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting like city walls or, you know, something kind of like this gatehouse style along here, kind of going up in tier, and then just have this as a walkway with, if there's enough room, potentially smaller buildings, or maybe even buildings that are like in here, like that are part of the lower level of the ziggurat, something along those lines. So I'm gonna clean that up, and then, ooh, sorry, I got something going in my eye. You know, you'll have this kind of little open courtyard area, I guess, before the gatehouse, and then into a square, which will probably be bigger than that. It might even take up this whole part. This part over here is going to be just a lot of buildings, again, primarily like tier 2 housing. There's been no definitive like, we want this here. So a lot of this is just going to be like blocks of houses and stuff like that. Potentially I might do a passage into here that goes over to the bends, but might not. we'll see. I also have a lot of space inside here, as you can see. I cut this in here at one point to kind of have houses and stuff that are kind of built into the bottom of the ziggurat. So I might, you know, do that over here as well if we feel like we need more space. But already, I mean, we have, it's a ton it's a ton of space already, so we might not need to do that. But I need to figure out what I want to do with the elevation here. I just dragged this over so that people wouldn't fall through the ground. So I'll need to figure that out. And then, yeah, there's like a lot of just messed up geo like this. So that's fun. That needs to get fixed. I need to figure out what's going on with the gates out here. I originally started roughing it out like this, and then I was playing around. Maybe they're on kind of like a rocky, I don't know, plateau doesn't seem like the right word, but you know, they're basically on like a cliff's edge. And then get into Sagesyde. There's supposed to be a tunnel here, which I broke, so I don't know how many people on the team have found this. No one's yelled at me about it yet, so I don't think anybody knows. But yeah, this is a sure way to fall through the world. And then this is where the classes are supposed to be, but as you can clearly see, you can't actually get up here anymore. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do to get this like workable. But the idea will be, again, kind of, you walk in here, I think there's gonna be like a nice little kind of open courtyard when you come through into tier 2. Probably some, you know, larger buildings, maybe with some market type stuff in them. You'll go this way, again, housing that way. It'll open up into, you know, larger buildings. And then this is going to be, again, it's kind of like the academy, like magic area, but because of we're playing with height, I kind of want to get a little bit of a, like Arabian Minas Tirith feel, as like the city's kind of going up and there's a bunch of, buildings and stuff kind of stacked up, and I was really quickly just playing around with stacked shapes from another area over here a long time ago. But I'm also going to play with some of the old geo, which some of the newer people may have never seen. But it's probably like a year old. Actually, it is almost a year old. I did most of it during my winter break last year, now that I'm thinking about it. But let's go over to Shitty Dunes real quick and actually copy it into here. But some of that geo is going to come over here. All right. I think this is old geo. All right. Here's all the old stuff. Now, the doors I can get rid of because we don't use doors like that anymore. Which deletes the fake door to my secret spot. But, anyways, let's grab all that. And we'll copy it. Bring it over. Don't save. And a Night Harbor here. Load all my subscenes. Alright. Dwarves can come too. Huzzah. Gotta get that tea. See, I'm in complete agreement until tomorrow morning or tonight when I can't fall asleep. That's all kinds of not good. All right. Let's see. Can I paste this directly into Sagesyde? Because that would be lovely if it lets me. Oh, it did. All right. So this was about just for anybody who's been following the project for a while. The original Night Harbor only went to here, and a lot of it was duplicated structures that Sean had made, and a lot of them didn't have doors. Granted, a lot of these don't have doors and stuff put in yet, but that was essentially Night Harbor right there. So you can see how it's grown over the last year. Well, really the last like 8 months, I think, is how long we've been working on it. Okay. Where did I just place that? There we go. Structure. Why am I not? Oh. Hold it. Why? Oh, that was in here. Like, why is it centered all the way out there? Because I have Geo put in there. I shouldn't. Alright, grab this and move over here. Trying to get a sense of scale real quick, because I am going to use these buildings somewhere in here. Now, granted, all the stuff beneath them might not be there. It might be there. Part of it might be there. You never know. It might lead into something completely different. But yeah, so I'll eventually move this into its position, but that kind of gives me an idea on scale. And I'm going to move all this stuff over here. You know what? It's going to fly over here, so it'll just look really weird and bizarre until it's ready to be used. Okay. So, yeah. I think I need 2 spires over here, too. Hold on. I need to read something real quick. Actually, no, I can read that later. But I think I need 2 separate spires. I don't remember which one's up top. But, again, today is just really about roughing stuff in. It's not, I'm not too worried about it being perfect at this point. So this is the Ben's area. And there's gonna be this broken bridge. Eventually, there's gonna be a ruined city off in the distance here on the other side. So let's move some of this stuff into floaty land, because I'm gonna end up having so much stuff moving around. Having all of this stuff in the way is just going to cause more problems. And we'll delete all of this garbage. And the other thing is, I need to figure out what I want to do here. So when I was playing around with this in the Necropolis, I don't think I did this part on stream, so you guys might not even, I don't know if Sean's run around here on stream, but obviously, you know, this is super still blocky. I didn't even like put the ground chunks that these would be sitting on like this. I didn't do it to all of them. But yeah, this kind of, you know, the Necropolis area kind of coming up into here. I don't know if we want to use this as like a dungeony type space or not. If we do in that case, I'm probably going to have to bring up these edges higher than the players can get, so people aren't like diving off the end to get away from mobs, and pulling undead specters or whatever we would put in there, down into the city, which could be fun, but I can also see a lot of issues coming from that. So I may have to change that, and if that's the case, I'd probably bring those up and just put more tomb entrances. But if that's the case, and that's what we go with, like this bridge going over to here, maybe building up this city wall into a little fortification of some kind, potentially, that kind of links up down to here. Or I could do it with a continuation, but then again, you could run across there. May have to do some tests with gameplay to see how it affects it, but I could essentially loop this around through here and make a big loop. And then you've got this area up this way, and you get this like sunken obelisk thing. And there's that area up here, and there's a bunch of like room to expand, so I could expand like into this area, with more like interior crypts and stuff like that. So with that all kind of just spewed out there, like figuring out what I want to do with this area, because it does kind of relate to Sagesyde. At one point you can see I had this ramp going down here. It might be an issue or not. Roman style public lavatories would add to the immersion. We have, where are we? A public bathhouse. And then the Garrison, oops, has one as well. Although the Garrison's has a troll in it, just to give a spoiler. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to put the little like toilet. I don't know what the technical word in a castle would be for it, but the little toilets that overhung the side and drop, and have it look like it's dropping, you know, that the upper class here would be pooping down on the bends below, but we'll see. Nothing enhances my immersion like a quality poop shoot. Well, there's also, where is it? Hold on. The inn, the little inn and tavern that I made in here. Where is it? Ah, here we go. Some of these had little buckets in the corner. Unless they got deleted. They might have gotten deleted. There's a bunch of missing props in here. So I have a feeling they got deleted. Alright, they just didn't come along for the ride. There used to be little buckets in the corner. And that was my little pee joke. Nothing in here. Oh, I just literally just read that. Throne. I mean, that's what I refer to my toilet as, but I don't know if that's the technical term for the thing that I'm thinking of. Alright. I need a plan of attack for this. Obviously, a lot of stuff is going to be getting deleted. Let's grab these for now and make sure they're grouped together. Okay, they are. And I think... Let's go back here. Does it? How much does this affect our skyline? Eh, it does a little bit. Oh. I'm going to take Control Z and I hit... I guess I did, and then it just took a second to do that. How much? Because we would need 2 towers. So I'll make 2 phallic-looking blocky towers for now. And does this one need to be up that high is the question. What is that? Oh, that must have been an old wall piece. Alright, let's start cleaning this up. I'm pretty sure I'm sending some mobs to their deaths, or they're floating on ground right now. So we may have to move stuff around a bit, but whoops, I don't want to delete all that. Just this. And just going to bring this back. Oops, helps if I'm in Pro Builder when I'm looking for Pro Builder stuff. There we go. Ooh, that is very yellow. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach this. Actually, no, I'll leave it out there. I'm just not going to delete that part. And we'll do... at least for now, just so that people aren't falling through. Otherwise, I'm going to get a million friends and family bug reports saying that there's a giant hole in the middle of Night Harbor. And then I'm going to be like, why, yes. Yes, there is. Okay. We're making progress, guys. There's not a giant hole that people could fall down. Oop, I lied. It's still here. Oh. Alright, let's delete some of this ground. Just needs to be closed. That's all I care about right now. Right. No. This is why you always pay attention to every access when you're doing 3D, because it looks great from one angle, and then you go to the other angle and you're like, whoops. Okay. This is all not needed. And I really, really wish I could just do like a selection like that, but as you can clearly see, it highlights stuff that it's not what I'm selecting, which drives me crazy. So yeah, you have to individually click on all these faces because they share the same like coplane with, like if I hit G, which I used to select walls, it's gonna delete the entire terrain, which is also what I don't want to happen. And I might end up bringing parts of this back, but I'm just trying to make this a little bit more easy to wield, because it's rather unwieldy with all the changes that I made and never got around to touching up because I was focused on the necropolis. Okay, what else is highlighting? So I don't know why there's a spot right there. And we can get rid of this. All right. So it's getting a little bit easier to visualize stuff, which is great. This is what I'm doing. Essentially, this all this for is to make this easier to visualize. All right, so I still want to preserve this idea of walking into the tier 3 and like having that you walk in and then there's like areas below it. So the entrance, I think what I had originally planned was to, did I nicely group this? I did. Was to push this back to like here. Actually, it was right here. That's what I wanted to do. So then this would now be your entrance into tier 3. And then it would kind of curve. So part of the reason I mirrored that was because we only had this really tight like L shape with a little kind of protrusion over here to put the tier 3 houses. Adding all of this gives a lot more room to kind of play around with the layout when we eventually get to it. Again, it's not a priority, but opening up the space was a design decision. So going to need another tower. And again, right now, if anybody hasn't watched like an early block out area, this is going to be like super rough looking. I'm not going to get overly invested with the layout until I kind of have something I like. So I have 3, hang on, and 3. Okay, we're good. So it's going to look, it's going to look weirder than normal just because I still have leftover geo from the original take on it. All right, and I'll delete that. Let's delete this ramp. Okay, so we're going to be walking up this way. And again, I kind of want to go with that, like, Arabian, Minas Tirith, like, tiered city feel as we're walking through this area. So I may narrow this a pinch. But I'll have to run around once I kind of get the layout. But anyways, this is going to kind of go up here. And then I think I want to keep the plateau on one side. I think I want to keep it on this side. And then this is going to have a way up to, like, the gate up here. And then we'll have one of the colleges kind of over here. And then maybe this one will be up here. Similar height, maybe a little bit lower, but we'll build this ramp up into a into kind of a plateau. So like something like around here. And then the footprint of this is probably going to be larger than it is right now. So it'll probably be longer in depth. And actually, it should probably be rotated like this. Not that it really matters because this is a rough block out, but I'm using that as kind of like a marker of where the front is, so. Something like that. And then this one. Maybe I do something with the walls too. Maybe the walls kind of pop out a little bit further on this side. And then maybe this one's like this. Over here. Let's see how that looks from back out here. Oh yeah, it actually adds a little bit of depth. Not a ton. And granted, you know, they look like giant phallic objects right now, so they probably won't look quite like that, but that's a step ahead of where I'm at. Okay, so this will definitely be the gate. Even if I do the rocks, which actually would work if I want to do this as a plateau here. Doing the it's kind of a rock, and then there's like either something that's been carved out or whatever. Actually kind of fits. So I might stick with that idea and then do something, you know, it's going to be more of a gatehouse, so it'd be more like that type of a... I mean, literally, it's probably going to be this similar style of gatehouse, but... Alright, so let's start... And this is probably going to be way too steep initially. It's going to join these up. See, I don't have enough geo in this area. So right now I'm just going to kind of try to set up this gradient for this hill. I kind of want to pull it back more because, again, I want to have some elevation. So I think what I want to do is kind of have some buildings that are running along this side, but then this side has some lower level buildings. So I'm just going to get rid of this cliff for now. And we'll bring it back later. We'll maybe not bring it back, but we'll have some sort of cliff face there at some point. Actually, I should have split that other spot off earlier because I could have just deleted this whole thing, but I didn't. And I'm not flying over there to detach it now. Cool. All right, so got that, and then let's collapse this down just to make my life easier. No. My guess is a lot of this is going to get deleted at some point. And let's clean up. Again, I had all this geo here when I was actually trying to use that old method. So this will eventually need to reach here. And I'm stretching this over here right now, but again, buildings and stuff aligning with that is going to be what's going on. Something like that. Maybe even... I may end up having to get like an individual tower scale for up here. And this needs to get deleted. At least for now. Oops. Thought that was at the same height. Guess it was not. Cool. For now, though, I'm going to intentionally, like, block this off. Alright, so again, this will be gradient going up. Probably not as steep, probably more gradual. So, maybe even still more gradual. Actually, let's... So apparently I have not done that to this part of the terrain yet. Let's split these vertices. And the reason I'm doing this is so that the terrain on both sides can be independent of the terrain on the other side of the wall. Will there be any invisible walls, or will there be landscape, or sorry, or will the landscape / cityscape solely drive when players can access? I believe the plan is that there will be no like invisible barriers. So you will be able to run around and fall through stuff. I just put that there right now because it's it doesn't have a ramp, so anybody who falls down in here can't get out. So until I put a ramp, I'm just gonna leave that blocking the way. I mean, it was blocked at the beginning of this stream and has been for quite some time. Since I started working on the Necropolis, so like a month and a half ago. But yeah, so that's the plan. There won't be any ways of keeping you guys in. Now we may find out that, you know, that was a terrible mistake and change that policy, but at least initially, I believe we are not planning on doing invisible walls or barriers or anything like that. So, like, right now you can run around and go into all the zones that Sean did the initial block out of off of Ham's maps. But, you know, whether they have population or fully, you know, traversable areas or you're not going to fall through the world or get, you know, get blocked by train slopes and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't had the time to run around every little nook and cranny in all of those spaces. And it's been a while, so I don't know if there's been any population changes. But I am definitely looking forward to getting to some other zones in the future to get to bring some other areas a little bit more fleshed out and stuff like that. So got that. I'm going to just for now. Create a like super temporary cliff. Another thing I wish Crowbit will let you do was snap to vertices of that are part of the same mesh. Because it doesn't let you do that. You can snap to vertices of other meshes, just not the mesh that is currently selected. Hey, Alarm, how's it going? All right. So again, I'll probably hollow this out a little bit more, like push this over and potentially even have like overhanging or buildings that are kind of pressed into the side. This is more than likely going to have buildings like in this space and then buildings on this side. And we'll get up to here. Maybe this will actually, let me select this correctly. Probably not. Oh my god, it did. So I'm going to grab all this. I'm actually going to pull this up a little bit higher. So as you come up here, you'll be moving up. Now, granted, I don't know what I'm going to... If I want to do this as like an open... This might be a more open courtyard-y type space anyways. So hold on. Let's maybe just do these. And now it's not going to let me do what I want. Yep. Pro Builder. Good, just finished Netflix show. So nice. Watching anything good? And hey, Stoic, how's it going? Can't believe you ignored me running around Eco. If I ignored anybody running around Eco, I apologize, because Sean and Luna and I were all grouped together, and I did an absolute garbage job of paying attention to my to my chat window, because we were in a huddle, so we were just joking around, and then Zukin and Keith popped in, so I was not looking at chat at all. So I apologize if anybody ran by and like hailed me or anything like that, and I just totally didn't notice you. We were hyper focused on eradicating the rats, the rat population of Leon, whatever I can't remember the name of the city, but the main human city. Twitch is censoring you. You blame the VPN. Oh, hey, Luna. I just realized who said that. Did we ever get those plans? No. Well, if Luna and Sean got it, it would have been when I was walking through the store, listening on my Bluetooth and laughing like a lunatic, which was great. I had to get some food. I had to run and grab some groceries and food to cook dinner for my sons and their friends, and the huddle was great, so I just wanted to keep listening to the huddle. And here I'm like walking through all these, listening to all this stuff going on, and I'm just laughing hysterically with Bluetooth in my beanies on, so you can't tell I have Bluetooth in. So I just look like a complete lunatic. It was great. It was a good experience. I'm sure everybody that all these thought I was crazy, but. First saw you in the Wood Elf Village, and then switched to Pay to Sneak for the Human Town. Yeah, so we ran all the way over there, and we were gonna kill at the one bandit camp that's right outside the human city, and people were there, and I was like, well, maybe we shouldn't kill Steel. And I think Sean needed bone chips or bone fragments or whatever for a quest, and I was like, oh, there's a graveyard. And we jumped off, and I did not know that they had mimics that were blocks, like voxel blocks, which, by the way, if anybody on the Ego team is in the stream, great touch on that. Loved it. And then it promptly murdered me and sent me back to the Druid, the Elf City, and I was like, no, I'm just going to roll a rogue. And then I couldn't find the rogue like starting trainer, so I re-rolled a necro because I've played a necro several times in Eco now, and I enjoy the class. So that's my story. Yeah, we were in a huddle while Sean and I explained how to kill a man. Yes. Let's see. Zukin, one of our guys, found the plans. Nice. I have to highlight the message, too. You have to highlight the message or it censors you? That's weird. Hold on. Is there like a list of accounts that are like blocked on? Because I don't think I ever... The only people who's ever been blocked by me are bot spammers. And I wouldn't be able to see you anyways if you were blocked. Let's see. Active roles? Role manager? No. Follower list? No. I don't even think I have word filtering turned on. I know it's dangerous. I'm trusting everybody on the internet to play nice, which doesn't normally happen. So I commend all of you for not blowing up the chat with a bunch of nonsense over the last year of me streaming. Good job. Although now that I say that, I just totally jinxed myself, so... That'll be a thing. Let's see. We didn't even expect to find design plans. I just got murdered by some named rat, and then my buddy finished it off and linked me like, hey, look what I found. It's the game you're looking at. That's funny. Because yeah, after that, we made it like our mission to hunt Fink down. And the funniest thing is, that rat Fink, I have killed or been killed by multiple times through my several like test sessions in Eco. And right after that, when we like determined to find him, I like massacred so many rats, and he just refused to spawn until I literally like was getting my cart at Aldi's. And then I can't remember if it was Sean or Luna. One of the two of them goes, "Hey, there's Fink. Let's kill him." I'm like, "Of course." Of course. Okay. So let's... God, this terrain is so messed up, but whatever. That's a weird workaround. Yeah, you did. I guess next time we need to figure out where the plans are, or is it just a bank Easter egg? I have no idea. I know Sean was making jokes to Hit Entry about it, but I don't know if anybody found out what they were for, or if it was just a joke. But we found it amusing, nonetheless. So missing an itch. Oh, I guess I am. What? There's a whole bunch of really random edges. Okay, that's cool. You do you, Pro Builder. What level did you end up getting to Stoic? I got both the Druid and the Necro to level 2. Last test, I think I got to like level 5, but can I make Luna a mod? Yes, actually I need to add a couple people to mods. Hold on. Let me copy your name. Add new. Mod. There's a new... Weird. There's more roles than the last time I looked. Luna, you should have mod privileges now. See if you can talk. I would think a mod would be able to talk. Well, previous weekends, Alpha, I ran a Druid to level 3. But this time I rolled a Mage and got to level 4, I believe, or close to it. Nice. Texas Roadhouse rolls. Those are good. I haven't been to a Texas Roadhouse in like 3 or 4 years, and it makes me sad. Because they do have some delicious rolls. And YouTube, I still want to listen to Robert's music. Okay, so this is gonna look ugly for a bit. Oh, excuse me. Oops. Oh, so thanks for the 2 months of subscription. Appreciate it. I forgot Prime was a thing. I didn't know it was a thing until like a year ago. I think I just did a 12 months for Sean's stream. And I was like, oh. That was when I discovered Twitch Prime was a thing. Let's see. Been in EVE Online. Como the last couple years. So now just heard about Eminem after reinstalling P99. Super hyped for it. It looks awesome. Well, thanks. I'm glad you're excited about it. Hold on a second. Why is my... Weird. Well, if you... it's not flagging your message as a first-time message, and for some reason my other chat window is completely blank. So, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you found it. Anything particular you're looking forward to specifically, or just really like the kind of classic vibes we're going for? And how did you stumble across the project? All right, so something like that. These would maybe look Google up and see Twitch fixes for particular VPN. If you can't figure it out on your end, Luna, I'm trying to think of the next day I'm free. My next 2 days are like super busy. Maybe Thursday. I can take a deep look on my end, and we can just hop into the chat and try to get it working. I have no idea why. Like I said, the only accounts that I've banned or blocked would be bots, but I think you can't even see. So it's weird that it's limiting your messages to only using highlighted messages. Found it via rabbit hole from an EQ dev interview. Ah, that's how I found the project myself. But I forgot his name offhand right now. I follow everyone. Sean's the one who does all the dev videos or the dev interviews. But that was how I found the project as well. And just happened to find it right when they were looking to grow the team and needed a 3D artist. So I applied, and here I am. Yep, that worked. I switched to a server in Helsinki. So it's blocking you. Weird. Now you're finished. That could be. Maybe I don't know where you were linked up. Maybe it thought you were spam and it was just like auto blocking you. But I don't have any like auto filters or anything like that going, so it must have just been Twitch itself. Which server were you on? Russia? Could be the ISP. Nah, something in the US. Which is weird if it's blocking you from the US ones, but not from the ones outside of the US. While I'm streaming from the US, that's bizarre. Oh, Twitch. No. All right. Let's see. Played live on Fen and Row back in the day, then played on P99 in another project before that one for a while. Just other MMOs didn't draw me away ever. I've played a couple over the years, but I always come back to EverQuest in some form or fashion, whether it's a little bit of P99 that I've done. I was really into PEQ for a while. And then I came back and then had like a 32 box army on there, or 30 box army on there. And then played around on some of the custom servers as well. And then I've done a bunch of TLPs. Let's see. Yeah, it turns out certain VPN servers providers are blocked by Twitch. Weird. So I had to switch to somewhere they didn't have blocked. Yeah, that's really bizarre. Although I have weird things, like if I'm trying to pull or push anything on GitHub while I'm at work using my VPN, it does not like me doing that. Specifically at work, it does not like me using my VPN. It just will sit there and like spin and spin and spin. I'm like, are you gonna update like I wanted you to? No? Cool. But let's see. First like 10 seconds. First 10 seconds of the first VOD I pulled up, and he repopped the starter zone, and the NPC started walking around. I was like, oh shit, it all looks right. Yeah, actually, one of the that was one of the things that got me like excited about the project. Was I had been driving out of state to go pick my kids up from their mother's house, and had been suggested. My brother had told me about the dev interviews and had been like, oh, you need to watch these, they're awesome. And what happened? I was just trying to find some like longer type stuff to put on my phone as I was driving and just listen like as a podcast. And YouTube decided, I don't even know what prompted it, because I don't think I was playing EQ or looking up stuff, but it decided to recommend that to me. So I binged all of those and then caught a stream shortly after, and hearing Sean mention Project N a lot, was like, oh, what is this? And then I went into the website and looked and was like, holy crap, this looks great. Like, oh man, if they ever wanted a 3D artist, I would totally throw my hat in the ring. And then I watched one of the recent live stream VODs and was like, holy crap, this is really weird timing. They need a 3D artist. And that was history. I'm popping out of the Druid Guild right now. I wanted to add a few more. Hold on. The pause button is like sitting right over it. Hold on. Whoa. I didn't realize I had paused the chat, so I'm like way behind. I'm like sitting here like, oh, everyone stopped talking. Nope, they did not. Hold on. I wanted to add a few more things. Was just EQ, Anarchy Online, and Eve, Anarchy Online. Had some cool stuff back then. I never got the chance to play AO. Yeah, I knew Lunas played it. Yeah, I loved having to go get another player to buff me to shoehorn in some upgraded armor. Fixer, or whatever the class was called. Yeah, that was my favorite thing. Super fun. Yeah, Fixer. I was an Adv adventurer. I have no idea what Adv means. And the one that could zone into the Matrix or whatever. The nodes I never got very far, level 30. And then the first big dungeon temple. 3 Winter something. Yeah, that was fun. The temple was pretty fun. Hey John, how's it going? I am doing pretty well myself. Well designed, still remember the entire map and turns. That's literally how I learned like Greater Fate Arc, because my computer, it was back when they still had the fog in it, and then my computer was basically a potato with a monitor, or my parents' computer, wasn't even mine at the time, and my far clip plane was like about halfway between me and the camera right now. So, me and my brother learned how to navigate by looking at like the roots of trees. Like, oh, there's 2 trees in this area and they're about this far apart. I must need to turn left here to get to Crushbone. That type of stuff. But it's fun. Like, that's the one thing I like about maps is you have to learn, like, where you're going. There's a decent AO emulator out there. I played a lot of AO, says John. Nope, I'm wrong. It was Asheron, or I'm thinking of Asheron's Call. Yeah, I never played Asheron's Call either. But the reason being, I was a very, very poor skater kid. All my money went to either my lunches at school, my break lunch when I worked at Panera, or skateboarding parts and EverQuest. That was pretty much all my money. That and gas, but gas wasn't that big of an issue back then. I was in the wrong church. Your computer sounds delicious. That's how we learned to navigate. That's how we learned to navigate by each individual tree. Yep, it was all about the tree clusters. Learn the patterns of the trees and you know where you're at. That temple in AO was like Carnor's or City of Mist. Man, I love City of Mist. Me and my friend used to farm the crap out of that. That zone on Praxis. Hey, C charts. Let's see. City of Mist or something. Groups deeper in that would lose it, then come running out. Oh yeah. Carnor's was definitely like train central. City of Mist was too, but I feel like Carnor's was definitely like the place to get trained or train people. I remember a big fight between AC and EQ guys at the Magic Store. People really liked AC and switched over early. We had a card store by me when I was a kid. Actually, still a card store. Or just like a gaming store, but they had like an internet cafe in the back, and it had better PCs than like the potato that I was just talking about that we played on. And we would go there and you know, like buy a couple hours of game time and sit there. But the one dude in the back who technically worked there, but I don't think I ever saw him work. He was in Township Rebellion. But I mean, I guess he worked. He was always back there, kind of like monitoring the whatchamacallits, the computers. But he was always sitting there playing. I remember the one time we were there and Township Rebellion had like just beat Plane of Time, and he was showing me off some of the gear, and I was like, holy crap. Like, that was one of the things that, like, the stuff he would show us. Granted, he was an enchanter, and I was a ranger, but like looking at his gear was like, oh man, I want to be a raider. Like, I want gear this good. That was like one of the things that we would always go there, and he'd be sitting back there and showing off all of his stuff while playing EQ. While we were either playing EverQuest or Diablo 2 or Counter-Strike or Battlefield 1942. But man, those like LAN parties that we would basically go there with our friends and do were a blast. Let's see. I think I still have the AC beta disc. That's awesome. I think I finally got rid of my discs most of my EQ discs, but I also had a lot of discs that I lost to my children when they were very little. They would get into things and just snap discs like it was a pastime or something. Let's see. EQ took over my store when it came out. Dude got in beta and started talking about it, and it was over. I remember when I was because I wanted to play EQ when it first came out because I heard about it. I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. Like I always wanted to play in a game where there's like a bunch of other people running around. That sounds so cool. And what? I was in 99, I would have been 14. Yeah, I would have been 14. So I didn't have a job and my parents didn't want to pay for it. But they gave me the excuse, no, we're not going to, you can't play it until we get DSL. That was like the big excuse. But it was just their code for we're not paying for it. But so when I got a job and right after, or a couple months after we got DSL, the first thing I did is I ran out and bought EverQuest. But my dad worked at CompUSA as like a side job for a couple years, and every time I went into CompUSA, I'd go and like stare at the box for EverQuest and be like, it's this mystical, magical, like awesome universe that I want to go play in. Yeah. And yeah, it pretty much turned out to be that. I wasn't too far off. Let's see. I had a PC at the register in the store with EQ constantly playing also. That's awesome. My one buddy my one buddy got me a summer job when I came home from college at a Subway that he managed, and we didn't have internet access to play EQ, although we both played EQ. But we used to play like Halo, and then when people would come, when we hear the doorbell would ring, not the doorbell, the little bell at the door, I guess. Well, I guess that is a doorbell. But anyways, when we heard the door ding, we would like go and make sandwiches, but otherwise we were in the back playing video games. That was kind of fun. Let's see. DE Westwood, take me back. Oh man, they didn't do that at the gaming store near me. I just played 40K and Magic. I always wanted to play 40K, but again, being a broke skateboarding kid, I had to prioritize where my spending went, and a 2,000 point army is very expensive. even as an adult, it's still a fairly sizable investment. But I always wanted to play, but I did not. Although I wanted to play, the guys at the store we had some pretty bad BO, I remember. So I was like, ugh, when I had to walk by the table. But other than that, I always wanted to play. Although I was more interested in actual Warhammer, like normal Warhammer, fantasy Warhammer, than I was 40k. 40k grew on me more as I got older, though. Let's see. EQ caused drama in the Shore's D&D group. DM would tell us to shut the fuck up about EQ. That's funny. That is funny. Let's see. Damn, so you have one less child I take? No, they're still both out there. I'm surprised you guys didn't hear them. They were like screaming about something probably about 20 minutes ago. I'm assuming something happened in Fortnite because the new season came out and that's what they've been playing the last couple days. Let's see. Plain Geared reminded me of a story. I was an ass when I dueled with my enchanter, so people would try to set me up for fights I'd lose. I was on my Erudite SK at one time, and someone set me up to fight a partial time geared warrior. My SK had raid / group gear. Time gear was like a completely other level at that point in the game. I still liked though that like even when playing a time and that gear and like elemental gear was out, it did not negate the old content. Yes, it was not the best gear anymore, but I came up, like I started playing at the end of Plains, or not the end of Plains, the end of Lukeland. So I was there I was still a newbie when Pop launched, and didn't realize an expansion had launched, and was like, ooh, what are these books? And then someone's like, you should really buy this so you can like get around. I was like, oh, so I bought the expansion. Like I remember still raiding like the family guilds I was in initially. We were trying to raid like, you know, halls of testing and stuff like that. Like, so the Valius content was still very much relevant. And then when I started getting into more raiding with like pug raids, I was excuse me, you know, I was doing like high priest and whatever when I could catch an open raid for it, along with this planar like tier 1 through 3 raids, because I had got my elemental flags through pickup groups, because there was a dude named Omi, I think it was, on Brexis that ran a channel called Barb Raid. It was him and another barbarian, Rourke, Omi and Rourke. It sounds right, but I doubt anybody in here was a Brexis raider. So no one's here to tell me yes, it was Omi and Rourke or not Omi and Rourke. I can just in my own head canon make sure that that was the correct answer. So that is the correct answer. But anyways, yeah, that's how I learned how to raid was through that. But again, I was constantly raiding older content, and then eventually I got tired of trying to do the family guild thing and was like, okay, I need to kind of get into a more serious guild if I really want to raid time, and that's when I joined Shining Alliance. Let's see. Hey mate, watching you design a game whilst I design a software system. Awesome. Oh, my eyes like twitching. Weird. I stopped playing during Valius and came back during DON, or so. But the Family Guild I joined was still doing Plane of Time for back gearing, so I got it there. Yeah, exactly. Like, that was the one thing I loved about the progression system. Like, the family, like, the best, even at, like, DON, the best group gear was, you know, I guess there was some group gear. Like, if you did the MPG trials, the group trials, you could get like Plane of Time gear from those, but those were difficult, especially if you weren't already like at least EP flagged and wearing like elemental gear. But like nowadays, so many games, the second the next expansion comes out, like the first drop that's green, like is better than the gear you were just wearing, and you're like, why did I spend all of that time working on this gear to have it invalidated the second the next expansion comes out? That stuff drives me crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. Back hearing, coming back to EQ the second time is actually a crazy story. I heard the loading music playing through my apartment wall, so I just went and I have the exact same story. That's so funny. Although it didn't trigger me to come back and play. I had just moved here and I had been playing on Agnar, the TLP, and moved into this apartment in like 2018, I think, something like that. And I'm like, a week later, I'm walking, carrying stuff up to my apartment, and I just hear the EQ theme just blasting from the bottom floor, and I'm like, no way, somebody else plays EQ in this building. And then when I realized who was the one living in that apartment, when I saw him, I was like, you play EQ, don't you? And then we just like nerded out in the parking lot forever. But glad I'm not the only person who's had that story. Let's see. Then I joined the MR server. I hate gearing like that, LOL. Final Fantasy does that too. Yeah, I cannot stand the, oh, it's a new expansion, let's invalidate everything. I like it when the content is relevant, but there's better stuff. But because the better stuff is so difficult to get, there's relevancy for like 2 or 3 expansions back. That's I mean, I don't even think Live EQ does that anymore. I'm pretty sure Live EQ has a similar, you know, like raiders are 10%, 20% or whatever better or more powerful than group gear and all of that. But it is what it is. Sometimes I get tempted to go back, but and try out the newer content, but I have not done that. Dude, anytime I run into EQ layers, it's always felt awesome. I remember I was in a LARP, and these older guys were talking about their beefy ass characters. I could spot an EQ player in WoW from a mile away in the early days. I saw some players post a screenshot of their EQ characters 1 million. I just posted that 1 million HP shot in our Slack the other day. And I think I had like the caption like EQ live stats are silly or something like that. I remember I was running around a couple weeks ago, just murdering the planes. But I don't have an active subscription, so like I was basically running around naked. I was only like 60,000, but I think I was like 120,000 the last time I was actually like actively playing that character, and that was pretty crazy. Although actively playing is like, I guess, a subjective way of saying that I was playing a little bit, and then my friend I was talking about earlier had a monk on my account, and then he'd box it with his shaman. And then when there was rotting ranger gear, he would run and grab it for me. So, I had raid gear, I just never did any of the raids in that expansion that I have gear from. Let's see. I reinstalled Live like 6 months ago and took my Necro from 65 to 115 or whatever the cap is now. I think the cap's one. Did they just raise it? I want to say it's 130. It's 130 or 140. Okay, Google, that's a little outdated. What's the max level you can get in EverQuest? 60 to 65. Let's see. I guess it is 115. Is that really it? Oh, this is only up to 2019. Yeah, I stopped playing at Empires of Kunark, which was 105. What the heck's the most recent expansion? Something of Luklin. Terror of Luklin. 120 is the cap. So I'm guessing 125 is the cap for the next expansion. Or is it, maybe it was 130. It might have been 130. Maybe that's why I have 130 in my head. But I honestly couldn't tell you. Terror of Lucan, I think, was the one I paid for in 1 month. My Google answers your question for me. I just ran around in my own little EQ server now. I can't get back into live EQ. I keep wanting to, but I don't have the time. Like, it's pretty much work or working on the game or hanging out with the kids. Like, that's my life at this point. Although I have been playing a couple like single player games here and there, but I don't know. I guess nowadays it's easier to like grab a mercenary and level up to max, but I don't know. I just haven't actually done it. I went crazy into trade skills and got like almost done with the artisan charm thing. I only did archery, or not archery, fletching in EQ. I was not a big crafter in EQ. Although my friend got to make bank off of my fletching. Because apparently when, I don't remember what expansion it was, but they eventually added Plane of War, which got cut from Planes of Power, I believe. And that's a question to ask Sean. I don't think I've ever asked him what happened with the... I'm assuming it's just that they ran out of time. But it's a question I'll have to ask him at some point. But anyways, They brought Plane of War back in, and the key / flag to get in required you to have a Stonewood compound bow from Plane of Earth, and or the fletched one from Plane of Earth, and I used to make those and sell those. So I had a bunch of them still in my bank. And my friend like texted me randomly, was like, "Dude, I just made like X million plat off of all of the old fletching stuff you have in your bank." I was like, I just started laughing. They added some crazy AoE aura thing to the Necros, so I was just farming trade skill mats. I wondered if they ever added an aura to Rangers. I can't remember if they had one when I was playing. All I know is they added a lot of extra, like, arrow shot things. Because those, like, the first arrow spells started to be a thing right when I stopped playing. I think I got into Prophecy Arrow and was like, I've reached my limit, and I stopped playing. But when I came back, the cone and rain arrow spells were awesome for headshot kiting. Not perfect, but we're getting there. A little slower than I wanted to, but whatever. We had a fun time chatting today. Speaking of chatting, let's see. Oh, thanks whoever got the spam. I'm assuming it was a bot seller. I'm guessing Luna with the "get the hell out of here" was the one who nuked him. Yeah, I had to farm the shit out of Earth. I forgot what for. I think the time key. Actually, that was Earth. I soloed the Wraith Council. That was one of the things I was doing when I was laying waste to everything, which I was surprised I was able to do basically naked. But when you're that, when you're 105, everything's gray. They miss a lot. At one, when I pushed all the buttons and clicked all the things, my Necro was doing like 2.5 million damage a tick or something like that with dots. Yep, that sounds about right. Pretty silly. If I headshot with my Ranger, I was doing like 2 million damage, I think, something like that at 105. So that doesn't surprise me at 115. You auto grant AAs if you haven't played it. Yeah. But you only get them if you're subscribed. The second you're not subscribed, they auto ungrant you them. So the entire time I was leveling from 65 to 105, I was dumped thousands of AAs per ding. Yep, that sounds about right. I remember when I came back in and it was like ding and it gave me like 15,000 AAs or something like that. It was like Jesus Christ. Like how it was super overwhelming because you're like, what does half of this stuff do? Because there's just so much that they throw at you. Um, went from 2K when I quit to 30,000, 50,000 AAs. It sounds about right. I think I was around 30,000 or 30K, something like that. When I had my subscription. Um, did you get a chance to play Eco last weekend? Yeah. I was playing with Sean and Luna. We had a fun little group trying to steal back our design doc from a rat named Fink. Okay. Just want to take a look. Now, this is going to change, obviously, when I start putting buildings in here, but this is starting to get pretty decent. Up here, along here. Maybe up top, like, you kind of descend down into, so you, like... So there might be buildings all the way up this cliff, and you might, like, descend down into them, as opposed to, like, going upstairs. You go downstairs. Let's see. The Necro Aura was taking up one slot. The Wraith Count, yeah, or the Necro Aura. I was talking about one shot the Wraith Council. That is ridiculous. Oh, it's so stupid. Oh, the only reason I say that is because I just remember how hard that event used to be and how absolutely like spot on your crowd control had to be. And then everybody had to listen. That was the difficult part, was getting 72 people to listen. God, that you one shot the Wraith Council. That's so silly. What was it? Necro was talking about. Or I just read that, and about the other events in the zone. It would break it. Oh yeah, a lot of those Planet Earth rings were super glitchy back in the day. I mean, they probably cleaned them up over the years, but I'm not surprised that doing like stupid amounts of damage would break something. Because I remember them breaking several times on live, and I remember them breaking in PEQ as well. I remember when I was running around with my 30 box army, I had to get one of the GMs on that server to like figure out what was going on. I'm like, why did this break? And then he like spawned in as the monster I was trying to kill and just started talking. The monster just started talking to me, and I was like, this is bizarre. But anyways, the waves of mobs or whatever, it would just get to 20. Yeah, exactly. The ring wars or the temples. I can't remember what they call them, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The one that broke for me, I think, had the spiders, but not the geos. But again, that was on a emulated server, so different than live. Yeah, that is a perk. Free to play character is way more buff if you pay for 1 month. Yeah, exactly. There's a huge difference. Even like I said, like I lost like half my health because I was basically running around naked because all of my stuff was like, I had to pay to actually be able to get the stat bonuses from it, and I lost a ton of AAs. But even with that, I was having like zero trouble doing anything in planes. But all the gear is off limits. Yeah, exactly. I would have to replace almost every single slot with an AUG to play free to play. Yeah, exactly. Original EQ raids before voice chat. Oh yeah, I mean, I quit in like the beginning of Prophecy of Row, I think. The last one I remember raiding was Dreadspire. Like I remember at least the beginning of Dreadspire. I don't remember if I ever beat it, But I remember the Nameless Order, which was the best guild, or like the second best to second best guild on the server, would let me run around with them on like a friends and family invite when they had space. And they got into the Theater of Blood, and I didn't get the flag stuff when they were doing it because I had something going on, and then I just kind of like completely lost interest. I was like, they're in that area. I'm not gonna be able to get in that area. I guess I'll call it a game and start focusing on college more. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, there's still a hole. I'm just making sure I get rid of all these holes before I call this stream, which I'm gonna be doing in a minute because it's already after 10 and I have to get up extra early tomorrow, which I'm not a fan of, but it is what it is. But soon I will be on my winter break at work, so I'll be able to do longer streams and potentially more streams. We'll see. We will see. I love Dreadspire so much. I was trying to pay people to come and do the event with me, where I needed people to run around and hail stuff. Oh yeah, we have to like finish the songs and all that. I dragged this new player to Death Knoll and got them the Skeletal Bride. POR was a badass expansion. Death Knoll is a real pretty zone. I did not get very far in POR. So I honestly don't. I remember like I think I dinged a level and then I was just like, no, it wasn't. No, I didn't ding. I mean, I hit level cap, missed the expansion, and then I quit. But all right, guys. Like I said, I think I'm gonna call the stream here. But yeah. Oh, I didn't finish my thought on John with the voice chat. Yeah, I was definitely the guy who had macros for giving raid instructions for like the channel. I didn't necessarily always lead like the ranger channels, but I was a very vocal person in those channels. So I was always like, if not leading, one of the more vocal people in the kiting channel. I've learned over the years to be less vocal because I don't like getting into leadership roles in MMOs because then it becomes a job, and I just like playing, even though I do like strategizing. I don't. If I get like the officer invite, I'm just like, no, not doing it. Done it too many times. Not doing it anymore. But with that said, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. For anybody new who's not familiar with the project, that is a link to our website. The game is called Monsters and Memories, as I completely almost forget what I'm supposed to say at this point. And by supposed to, just what I normally say. There's no script that I'm reading off of. As you can tell by my pure professionalism when it comes to streaming. But yeah, we're making an indie MMO called Monsters and Memories that is very inspired by the classic kind of first generation MMOs. So I'm gonna give you a prettier shot to look at. Oops, let's get a tree out of the way. So yeah, go there. There's all sorts of stuff. We just released an update yesterday. Yesterday? I think it was yesterday. But anyways, there's all sorts of updates, images, videos, bios on the team, all that kind of stuff, frequently asked questions. If you still have questions and you want to learn more or just hang out with us, feel free to jump into the Discord. We got a fairly decent sized community talking about our game, different games, whether it's in the genre, tabletop gaming, that type of stuff. So feel free to hop in. All the devs are in there. We're pretty open. Obviously, we're developing the game on stream and stuff like that. So feel free to ask us questions. We're always happy to answer. This is our mailing list. If you'd like to stay up to date on what's going on in the game. These are other team members that stream. If you haven't already, throw them a follow. We also have our YouTube. If you'd like to get caught up on past VODs, that's a great place to do that. If you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, click the bell, all that fun stuff. It helps us out with the algorithm. The more engagement that the channel gets, the more the algorithm pushes the content out to people that are interested in MMOs and EverQuest and Asheron's Call and Dark Age of Camelot and all that, you know, late 90s, early 2000s era, which is kind of what we're aiming to kind of replicate that experience from. So yeah, if you are watching on YouTube also and you'd like to join in on my live stream chats, there should be a link down below in the description to my Twitch channel, Paytas the Ranger. Just click on it, click follow. You'll get a notification whenever I go live. My streams are Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But with that said, I will be at work this Wednesday. I've got a bunch of mid-year reviews to do, so I will be listening to theses, or the midpoints of theses. So I will not be available this Wednesday, sad face. But I will be back to the normal schedule next week. So I will see you guys then. Thank you to all my subscribers. Appreciate the support, guys. You guys are great. Other than that, I am going to call it a night. Good night, guys, and I'll see you next week.